Right now, somewhere in the world, a criminal is logging into someone's bank account from a phone that is not theirs. They did not break any encryption. They did not hack any server. They simply waited for the account holder to make one of 5 completely avoidable mistakes. And then they walked straight through the front door. Mobile banking fraud grew by 45%. Between 2023 and 2025. Not cybercrime broadly, not card fraud. Mobile banking fraud specifically, the attack vector that sits in your pocket, that you unlock 50 times a day, that you use on public Wi-Fi without thinking twice, that you probably secured with the same level of care you gave your streaming service password. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people spend more time choosing their phone wallpaper than configuring the security settings that protect their entire financial life. And the people who want to steal from you are counting on exactly that. This video is going to fix that, not with vague advice about being careful, with specific settings, specific behaviors, and a specific weekly habit that takes 5 minutes and could save you everything. By the time you finish watching, you will have done more to secure your mobile banking than most people ever do. Let us start. Before we get to the solutions, you need to understand what you are actually defending against in 2026, because the threat has evolved significantly from the simple password phishing attacks of a few years ago. The most dangerous current threat is something called a banking Trojan. This is malware, malicious software, that disguises itself as a legitimate application. It might look like a utility app, a QR code scanner, a flashlight app, or a PDF reader. You download it from what appears to be a trustworthy source. It installs, and then it watches. Banking Trojans monitor your device for when you open your banking application. When you do, they can overlay a fake login screen on top of the real one, capture your credentials before you even reach your actual bank, and transmit those credentials to a remote server in seconds. By the time you realize something is wrong, the login attempt has already been made. More sophisticated variants can intercept SMS messages, which means they can also capture the one-time codes sent to your phone for two-factor authentication if you are using the SMS version of it. They can record your screen. Some of the most advanced ones can even conduct transactions on your behalf while you're doing something else on your phone, making the fraud nearly invisible until you review your statement. The other major threat category is social engineering. This is not a technical attack. It is a psychological one. Someone calls you, sends you a text, or sends you an email claiming to be from your bank. The message is urgent. Your account has been compromised. Suspicious activity has been detected. You need to verify your identity immediately, or your account will be locked. The pressure is designed to override your critical thinking. The sense of urgency is manufactured specifically to prevent you from pausing and asking questions. And the ask is always something that sounds reasonable if you are panicked. Your password, to verify it, is really you. Your PIN, to confirm account ownership. The one-time code that just arrived on your phone to complete the verification. Here's the golden rule that you need to memorize and share with everyone you care about. Your bank will never ask for your password, your PIN, or a one-time verification code over the phone or by text. Never, under any circumstances. No matter how urgent the situation sounds, no matter how official the caller seems, no matter what they threaten will happen to your account if you do not comply. If someone asks you for any of these things while claiming to be from your bank, hang up immediately. Then call your bank directly using the number on the back of your card. Not the number the caller gave you, the number on the card. That rule alone would prevent the majority of social engineering attacks. Write it down. Tell your parents. Tell your grandparents. It is that important. Now let us talk about the 3 settings that you need to configure right now before you open your banking app again. The first is two-factor authentication. Not the SMS version, if you can avoid it. The better version. Two-factor authentication means that logging into your banking app requires 2 separate pieces of evidence that you are who you claim to be. The first factor is something you know, your password. The second factor is something you have, a code that changes every 30 seconds and exists only on your specific device, or something you are. A biometric scan of your fingerprint or face. SMS-based two-factor authentication, where the bank texts you a code, is better than no second factor at all. But, as we discussed, banking Trojans can intercept those SMS messages. The stronger option is an authenticator app. Google Authenticator, Authi, and Microsoft Authenticator are the most commonly used. These apps generate time-based codes that rotate every 30 seconds and exist entirely on your device without touching the cellular network at all. A criminal who intercepts your SMS cannot intercept a code that never left your phone. Log into your bank's app or website settings. Look for security or 2-step verification. If they offer an authenticator app option, enable it. If they offer biometric login, Face ID, or fingerprint, enable that as well. Biometric authentication combines convenience with strong security. Your fingerprint does not travel across the internet. It does not exist on your bank's servers. It is verified locally on your device by dedicated security hardware before the device communicates anything to the bank. The second setting is transaction alerts, and the specific detail here matters enormously. Every major bank allows you to set up notifications for account activity. The mistake most people make is leaving the default threshold, which is typically set at $100 or even higher. Change that threshold immediately to $10 or $20. Here's why the low threshold matters. And when criminals gain access to an account, they do not immediately transfer everything out. That triggers automated fraud detection. Instead, they run a test. They make a tiny transaction, often between $1 and $10, to verify the credentials work and to check whether the account holder is paying attention. If nothing happens, no alert fires, no one notices, they proceed with the larger theft. With a $10 alert threshold, that test transaction triggers an immediate notification to your phone. You see it within seconds. You call your bank. The fraud is stopped before it begins. The low threshold is the tripwire that catches criminals in the reconnaissance phase rather than after the damage is done. Set alerts for every transaction, every login, every password, change attempt, every new device added to your account. Each of these alerts is a real-time surveillance system for your financial account, and it costs you nothing to enable them. The third setting is remote wipe capability. This addresses the physical theft scenario. If your phone is stolen, a criminal who defeats your lock screen, which is easier than you might think with certain bypass techniques, has direct access to your banking app if it is logged in. Remote wipe allows you to erase all data on your phone from any internet-connected device. On iPhone, this is Find My iPhone. On Android, this is Find My Device. Both are built into the operating systems. Both are free. Neither requires any additional software. Go to your device settings right now and confirm that this feature is enabled. Confirm that you know your Apple ID login or your Google account login, because you will need those to initiate a remote wipe from another device. And confirm that you have at least one trusted phone number associated with your account, so that the recovery options work if you need them in an emergency. Now, the behavioral security habits. Because settings alone are not enough if your daily behavior creates vulnerabilities that settings cannot close. Public Wi-Fi is the most commonly misunderstood risk in mobile banking security. The reason is that most people assume that because their banking app uses HTTPS, the little padlock in the browser, they are protected on any network. This is partially true, but not fully protective. Public Wi-Fi networks, the ones in coffee shops, airports, hotels, and shopping centers, can be set up by anyone. A criminal can create a Wi-Fi hotspot with a plausible name like Airport Free Wi-Fi or Coffee Shop Guest and position it near a legitimate access point. When your device connects to this malicious hotspot, the criminal controls the network layer. Advanced attack techniques can intercept and manipulate traffic even on HTTPS connections under certain conditions. The simplest protection is also the simplest behavior. Never do mobile banking on public Wi-Fi. Period. Switch to your cellular data connection. It routes through your carrier's secured network rather than an untrusted local router. The data usage for a typical banking session is minimal. The security difference is substantial. If you absolutely must use public Wi-Fi for banking, a VPN, a virtual private network, encrypts your internet traffic before it leaves your device, making it unreadable to anyone who might be monitoring the network. There are reputable paid VPN services that provide this protection. Free VPN services often have their own privacy concerns, so research your options before trusting one with your financial traffic. The next behavioral habit is source discipline for app downloads. Every banking Trojan that has ever infected a phone had to be downloaded and installed first. The most effective prevention is refusing to install apps from outside the official Apple App Store or Google Play Store. These official stores have vetting processes. They are not perfect, and malicious apps have occasionally slipped through. But they are dramatically safer than side-loading apps from websites, third-party app markets, or links received in text messages. If someone texts you a link to download a banking app or security verification tool, do not click it. Navigate to your official app store and search for your bank's application directly. Software updates are the third behavioral habit. They are also the most frequently deferred, because update prompts appear at inconvenient times and people dismiss them intending to update later. Your phone's operating system updates contain security patches that close vulnerabilities discovered since the last update. More critically, your phone's dedicated security hardware, the Secure Enclave on iPhones and similar components on premium Android devices, works in conjunction with the operating system to protect your biometric data and cryptographic keys. Keeping your operating system current ensures these hardware protections remain effective. Enable automatic updates, or establish a weekly time, perhaps Sunday evening, when you check for and install updates across your phone's operating system and all installed apps, including your banking app. This habit takes 5 minutes and closes security gaps that criminals actively exploit in the window between when patches are released and when users install them. Now let us talk about the weekly habit that most people never establish, but that catches the things that automated systems miss. Set aside 5 minutes every week to review your transaction history line by line, not scrolling through to confirm the total looks approximately right. Actually reading each transaction, the merchant name, the amount, the date, the category. Automated fraud detection systems are good. They are not perfect. They flag anomalies based on patterns, but they can miss transactions that fit your general spending profile even if you did not make them. A small recurring charge added by a fraudster who has limited access to your account might look, to an algorithm, like a subscription service. It might not trigger any automated alert, but when you read it yourself, you notice it is a merchant you have never heard of for a recurring amount you did not authorize. This review also catches bank errors which occur more often than most people assume. Duplicate charges, incorrect amounts, charges from businesses that may have misprocessed a refund. These errors are time limited. Most banks have dispute windows of 60 to 120 days. If you review transactions weekly, you are always well within the window. If you review statements monthly, you may miss the window for charges that occurred in the first week of the previous month. Make the review a ritual. Same time every week, same process. Statement open, read every line, flag anything unfamiliar for immediate follow-up. One final objective that deserves dedicated attention. The people most targeted by mobile banking fraud are often the least equipped to defend against it. Elderly parents and grandparents are specifically and systematically targeted by phone-based social engineering because they grew up in an era when a phone call from a bank was inherently trustworthy, when official sounding language meant something, and when urgency was a legitimate reason to act immediately without verification. The investment you make in securing your own devices should extend to the people in your family who need help. This does not require technical expertise on their part. It requires 30 minutes of your time. Sit down with them. Enable two-factor authentication on their banking apps. Set the transaction alert thresholds to the lowest available option. Enable Find My iPhone or Find My Device. And have one simple, direct conversation about the golden rule. No one from the bank will ever call or text asking for a password, a PIN, or verification code. If someone does, hang up and call us. That conversation, those 30 minutes, is the most impactful security intervention you can make for someone you love who is statistically likely to be targeted. Mobile banking fraud grew 45% in 2 years. It will not stop growing. But the people who lose money to it are not unlucky. They are unsecured. And the difference between secured and unsecured is exactly what we covered today. Enable real two-factor authentication. Set transaction alerts at $10. Confirm remote wipe is active. Never use public Wi-Fi for banking. Download apps only from official stores. Update your software. Review transactions weekly. Help your family do the same. Do these things before you open your banking app again. Not tomorrow. Now, because the credential that gets stolen is always the one the account holder assumed was safe.